You know what? I love talking about important topics that nobody else ever discusses. I bet most of you don't know the difference between a citizen and a subject. Yeah? You know what self-reliance is? I think if you ask that question today, especially to these mental midget millennials, they have no clue. They would like die if if like their local Starbucks lost power and their convenience store closed early. I don't know what people think about self-reliance. You know, right now we're living in a bubble of relative prosperity. You know, everywhere we go, you know, you got some granola bars we can pick up, and our espressos and our cafe lattes, and people really, there's this enormous collective sheep mentality. Of course, and I'm not about conspiracy theories, but some conspiracy theories are actually true, that the entire world, and some are much higher than others, like Europe and the United States and Canada. I'm sorry, but we're breeding, we're breeding a bunch of sheep. Say, for example, this of course happened down in New Orleans, which of course sits really low, and they had the hurricane, and everybody lost power, and you know, the waters rose, and of course we can't help some people that are like hooked up to countless machines, and the power goes out. It's like that person is in a crap load of trouble, and they're probably not going to make it, and that's very, very unfortunate. We should always have actual system set up for eventualities to take care of such people. But there is, and remember all the people actually gathered in the Superdome there, and it was just a nightmare. People, I'm not talking about a prepper, and I'm not a prepper at all, but I mean, you should always be, you know, prepared for contingencies. And people say, well, that's living in fear. I love it when people do that because it's so easy to destroy them. It's like, why do you have a fire extinguisher in your house? You living in fear? Why do you use a seatbelt in your car? You living in fear? Why do you got car insurance? You living in fear? Why do you got life insurance and homeowners insurance? And why do you put locks? You living in fear? No, it's called common sense and being prepared. I have a piece of chalk over here. I think I got a piece of chalk over here. It's actually very important. And this, of course, is a piece of chalk. I'll talk about this in a second, why it's a perfect paradigm. Is that it blows, this is me personally. You go ahead and attack me for it. But there are people that are just like living on a razor's edge of their own self-reliance. It's like if they don't have, you know, X pill, I mean, there's a millionaire buddy of mine that took some Girl Scouts out in some camping, and it blew his mind that these young, healthy-seeming young girls, they had you know, like the old farts have the pills like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. These teenage girls, like almost every one of them, he said, is the same thing. You know, they got like pills, tons of pills they're popping every night. They're addicted. They're literally slaves to the rest of society. And of course, we're all walking around with cell phones. Cell phone, if you're, and this is not a conspiracy, this is a frigging fact. If I were like a sick and evil government, which all governments and all politicians are sick and evil scum, if I were a sick and evil government, wanting to keep track of all my citizens, by the way, you should do a Google search on Utah Data Center. Yeah, just do a search on it. Utah Data Center. If I were a sick and evil government, wanting to keep track of every citizen on Earth, you know, or in my country, you know, I would give a cell phone. Awesome. It's an amazing tracking device. Everybody's addicted to them. We pack them everywhere. It keeps all our information on there. They're easily hackable. You know, if you if you think, you're like, oh, my iPhone's unhackable. It's like, oh yeah, I'm sure it's completely unhackable from liquid nitrogen cooled banks of supercomputers that perform a bazillion calculations every microsecond. Yeah, totally unhackable. It's ridiculous. Well, we're all just walking around slaves. We're subjects. I don't know if you've been to old England. You know, there's the king, and everybody else is a pathetic subject. People are like that today. Just the mentality, and I'm being generalistic here, but Europe, United States, Canada, where else? I don't know how much it is the case of Australia. Probably the same as Europe, really, but Europe, United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, countless other places. We have literally subjugated ourselves. We're subjects. We're not citizens. We're subjects. We've subjugated ourselves to. We can't go a day. We need pills. We need. I need my health insurance. What about? And of course, I'm no paradigm of this since I'm obviously out of shape, for obvious reasons. But I don't believe in being subject to someone else for our own, existence. I'm not saying you actually have to go buy 100 acres of land and go out and chop your own wood and, sew your own wounds up, but people are way too subservient to government. We've literally become a bunch of friggin' sheep to the slaughter. We're all walking around packing cell phones on our pocket that we're completely addicted to. It's a perfect tracking device. By the way, that's what the hell it is. It's a tracking device. Its secondary use is as a communication device, but it's keeping track of you. That's not a conspiracy, that's a fact, by the way. But it blows my mind how subservient people are, and they enjoy it. They enjoy being sheep. Bah, bah, bah. What is wrong with? Well, I know what's wrong with people, more or less. There are countless reasons for it, but when you're like addicted to pills as a healthy person, as like those teenage Girl Scouts, you're completely subservient. It was like if an alien landed and they said, we looked at your citizens and they're all completely subservient on pills they don't need, and they're all walking around with a tracking device. We're talking about an alien probe shoved up your sphincter? What the hell do you think a cell phone is? It's just not up your sphincter, it's in your pocket. Do you know the difference between a citizen and a subject? You're not reliant upon other people for your own protection and livelihood. You work hard, you pay the bills, and if the crap hits the fan, you can take care of yourself. Yeah, you're not. It's like I'm gonna dial 911. It's like, well, the cell phone towers are down. The power grid due to an EMP or a hurricane is completely collapsed. It's like you're not gonna get through. Because all those people that you think are going to show up for your rescue, they themselves are trying to save their own lives. They don't give a crap about you. They are trying to save their own lives and their own families. When you dial 911 and no one's going to, what are you going to do? By the way, and this is really, really important, I want to close out with this, and it's not my opinion, it's a fact. I know a lot of cops. Look into my eye, I know a lot of cops. I don't know if you know this about me or not. I've said it before many, many times. I'm a former instructor for the Department of Criminal Justice Training Division. But any cop, just ask any cop, they'll tell you the same thing. Like if the crap hits the fan, and you need their help, the only thing they're going to do is they're going to show up with this piece of chalk and they're going to draw an outline around your body. They are not there to protect you because the average 911 response, and this is not a slant against cops, this is a reality. When the crap hits the fan, they're not going to be there to save your life. You're going to be cold or starting to get cold on the concrete or wherever the hell it is, and they're going to draw a chalk outline around your body. Yeah, this is where Bob died. Yeah, don't step in the blood and the guts. There we go. Here's an outline of Bob. Crime scene unit will show up soon. They're janitors. That's not a slant against cops. That's saying that when the crap hits the fan, it's going to be over like that. And even if you get a chance to call 911, which you probably was, like, hold on, before you hurt me, can I call 911 before? That's never going to happen. Like, sure. I'll wait before I hurt you. I'll let you call 911. It's not going to happen. Do you know this difference between a citizen and a subject? A subject is really a sheep. This is like old England where whatever happens to you, you're screwed, It's just fate, Why don't people, self-reliance and being a citizen is so incredibly important, and not a person in Europe or America gives a crap. They literally like being sheep, They give away every penny. They work their ass off from birth to death. They give away all their money to the government. And they just want everything spoon-fed to them. Why don't you just, when you're born, like stick an IV in your arm and stick a diaper on you, and then you stick you in a hospital bed, You could like work really hard on the computer, and every penny you make goes towards your health care and your funeral. You know, everybody's just enjoying being a sheep. It's not good. It blows my mind the psychology behind some people. It's like, I don't believe in so and so tool. A tool used to save yourself. Protect your own life, because the cops are never going to show up to save you. They're going to show up and they're going to draw a chalk outline around your body. I was like, I don't believe in owning those things. If I own one of those, I'd just be living in fear. Oh, the fear, like the same reason you got a seatbelt and house insurance and life insurance and a fire extinguisher and a smoke alarm and a carbon monoxide detector. That kind of fear? It's not fear. It's called being prepared, you knuckle-dragging mental midget. It's not fear. It's called common sense. It means if you were able to get a call off to 911, they are only going to show up to, yeah, he's dead. There he is. Yep. Let's call on the crime scene unit. What happened to self-reliance and common sense is dead. I just don't believe in living in fear. It's just, I don't think it's just right. It's like, what is wrong with you? Most people, if you ask them, it's like, what's the difference between a citizen and a subject? Well, there is no difference. I don't think there is a difference. You're kidding me, right? You're kidding me, right? Oh, man. If you ever wanted like road markers that the society is going off a cliff, that's a big one. People don't know the difference between they think self-reliance is like a foreign language. It's like ancient Egyptian. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope you liked this video. I just ranted a little bit about it because I wanted to talk about it. Thank you. Bye. Oi.